right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app. Your home smart speaker up on TSN 2. Brian Hayes, Jonas Siegel from The Athletic, and there's our main man, Jason Stradler.
Hey.
What's
Double
happening?
dipper, hey, boys? What a way to start a week. Monday,
Wow.
Tuesday. Oh, man.
Look at this, man. We got chemistry now.
We are healthy. The Leafs are not.
We are healthy. The Leafs are not.
Yeah.
Man, this is troubling news. Like, Chris Tanev's out. Dakota Joshua's out. Austin Matthews is a game-time decision tonight. William Nylander will not play. We don't know where Stolarz is.
Yeah.
Brandon Carlo's not playing. It's trouble. It's trouble, Struddy. There's not a lot of positive mojo in the city right now, even though the Leafs have picked up points in their last 3 games, right? They're 2-0-1 in their last 3.
Sure.
But New Jersey's a team ripe for the picking. They don't generally play that well against New Jersey, but I don't know who's playing tonight. Do you have an answer for us, Jonas?
I guess Matthews is the only one we don't know. And we were talking about it before. He blocks a shot, end of second period in Detroit, left foot. If it was broken, I think we would know he's out, I don't know, they'd say week to week, whatever that means. Since it's not, I would assume he's just got a bruise, really bruised foot. So can he play on that? I don't know. Like, he didn't look great after he came back. I don't know. Struddy, can you play on that hurts.
Oh, it hurts so much. Like, just taking it out and an idea of putting it back in there. Oh, man, and you can try to do all you can, but it's so sore. And then depending where it is, like, if it's on that crease, kind of where your ankle meets the leg, that's a really bad spot because you're bending all the time. So it's not very fun. Now, if it's not broken, it's just pain, right? It's just how much can he take? And he's a good skater, and so I guess it's up to him. You can soften the blow with Tylenol, I guess, or something. But still, man, that's not fun. It's not a fun because you just know how much it hurts putting your foot back in there. That's the worst part.
Yeah, that will be a challenge, and I'm sure he's aware that they need him tonight. That may factor into what he decides to do, but. If he's only 50-50, if he plays but he doesn't look great or he can't skate, is there value in that? I don't know, because these are games they got to get. Coming out of the break, they've got a kind of a soft schedule, a lot of home games here for the next handful of games. Colorado's still waiting for you, right? You still got to play Vegas a couple times. You got to go through Edmonton again. You still got to do your California swing. They got Dallas again at home. Like, they got tough games coming up. They have the second or third toughest schedule, I believe, in the league. And this is the one you got to get at home against New Jersey. But I think, ultimately, Nylander's day-to-day, he will return soon. Matthews wasn't skating this morning. But, again, I guess, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. The Leafs, maybe he doesn't play again all year. With the Leafs, you never know. Maybe he never plays again. Maybe he retires at the end of the week. Like, with the Leafs, they're so misleading.
They just haven't earned the benefit of the doubt.
They absolutely haven't. They're completely disingenuous about everything to their fans.
They've gotten better a little bit recently, I will.
To an extent. But listen, the Joshua explanation from Berube, like, it's a kidney issue. He's still in Detroit. That's really tough. Like, that's really concerning. You're fearful for that guy and his well-being, clearly. So hopefully Dakota Joshua gets home and it's all good in the future. But Tanev being out, to me, is the big one. Because they missed him so much, Struddy. Like, they missed him so much when he was out. He's had such a difficult season based on injury. Prior to the injuries, he wasn't playing great, but he's a puck-moving defenseman. He's a guy that's, like, cool, calm, and collected in, like, the grind, in the mucky areas of the rink. He plays tough. He kills penalties. And it's a lower body injury, and the reports are not great. Again, we don't know with the Leafs. But if he's going to be out for an extended period of time, that may sink them. Like, it's getting to a point where it feels like the only way they're going to get into the playoffs is if they have the best goaltending in the league. Is that far-fetched?
Well, let's start with the Tanev part first. I mean, I think that he was brought in to be a warrior and an anchor on that back end and kind of, set the tone. And unfortunately, this year, for all the reasons you just outlined, he hasn't been able to do that. So that's, as a coach, you're expecting this guy to be there, a veteran, a guy who's been around a lot, can help you settle people down. And so it's not there. So that's a real big problem. Take off, a top pairing defenseman off of any team for, whatever length of time, and it's a big problem. So what happens with them? I don't know. I mean, we never really know what the problem is, what's going on. So let's assume he's out for another couple of months. I mean, do you say to him, hey man, like maybe you should take the year off and just get healthy, like just feel good about yourself. But it's not like he's 25 though. That's the problem. That he was brought in as an older free agent. So, cause what is he? He's got to be.
I believe he's 36.
Yeah. I think
36.
He just turned 36.
December. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys think
getting up there,
So I wrote about this like a month ago, and I didn't use this phrase. I wanted to. Is this just a season from hell for them? Like, is it just like it's just nothing is gonna go right? And I don't know what you do with that, but like, is this just their year from hell?
Here's a crazy answer. You have to hope so.
Oh man,
that's a positive.
Answer. Yeah,
it's a positive if that's what it is.
You're saying if it's just 1 year,
that's it. If it's everything we couldn't get going. It was just we had injuries, we had inconsistencies, and they've had a lot of it. Now they're not alone, and that's where people stop short.
Also, they were not playing great when they were healthy. So
Even when they were healthy, it didn't look great. They had the easiest schedule going the first 20 games of the year. They could have absolutely taken off the start, and they chose not to do that. But I think if you are an optimist, that's how you're hoping it's defined. You're hoping that that's all it is, Strud. Is while Stolar, something went wrong, and Tanev and Carlo and Lawton got off to a bad start, and Matthews just couldn't find it, and the line mates were all over the place. And you get to the summer. Obviously, that means if it's a season from hell, you miss the playoffs. You debate whether or not they're going to make changes.
Oh, I don't know how.
Do you think it's a lock if they miss the playoffs? The coach is gone and the GM? How deep would you say it goes?
I would think so. Don't you? I mean, like we know Pete Pelly is a big Craig Berube fan. I mentioned to you, like, I wonder what a different coach looks like with this team. How much of a difference does that make? But you miss the playoffs. Like, I don't know. Every team has injuries. Like, I counted 14 players have missed time with injuries this year, a whole bunch, multiple times. Is that a lot? Probably. I don't know.
It's hard to get continuity. I'll say that when you have that many players that are out, it's hard to get into a rhythm because, the three of us are aligned, and then 2 games later, I'm on a line with 2 different people because maybe someone's out and had to move that up. So it's hard to find that flow. I think for defensemen, it's a little bit different. The goalies, you just need one, to be on. And I'm not saying that to be, to lighthearted, but there's only, you just need one to play well right now. Just give me one guy that's going and give him a chance to get rolling. So even if you have another guy who's hurt, the other 1 or 2 should be able to hold it up. So, I think the one thing that hurts too is that draft pick, right? I think that's another one that, if they, because I'm corrected if they,
Boston owns it, and it's what, top five protected?
Yeah,
top
so
5 protected.
They're not. I don't think they'll be quite there, but they'll, they could be in that a pretty decent range there. That Boston's like, man, that's a pretty good pickup for a guy that didn't play for the Leafs much this year.
That is hanging over everything, that they don't have picks.
They don't have the next year either.
Yeah, it's in Philly, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's top 10 protected.
But then maybe it loses the protection
and it
after that.
Unprotected.
Yes. Like it's a terrifying proposition. And, this is, again, it's still premature to throw out the white flag because of a bad injury report today. They're not going to do that. If you're Craig Berube, I think you go into that room and what you hope for is simplicity, is a buy-in to just, put everything on the line, block shots, protect the house. Like I said, and I wasn't being facetious, like you might need the best goaltending in the league, which is probably asking too much. Let's be clear. I mean, Joseph Woll is not the best goalie. Dennis Hildeby is not the best backup in the league. But that's kind of what you're banking on here. If Willie's going to be out, if Austin's out, if you're continuing to miss players and your depth is just going to be challenged and you're so far behind the 8 ball, which they are, you're going to need a heater. And the easiest way to get it is crazy goaltending.
Which we have
seen at times this year and throughout their last 10 years.
Yeah.
Where there'd be months at a time where a guy like Jack Campbell would have a .960 save percentage in 12 starts or something. You're like, all right, well, he just went 11-1. This guy was unbelievable. And it's a terrible approach. It's not a foolproof plan, and it's certainly not one for long-standing success. But it might be a reality with what they're dealing with right now.
Wait, what the other option is, Jonas, is actually play the way Craig Berube wants you to play. right? Limit chances against, team defense, move the puck forward. Like now, and I'm not suggesting that, Matthews and Nylander are the reasons they're not doing it, but that might be the way through. Just build an iron curtain like Latvia, hang on there, win the game 2-1, and, you fight and scrap for points.
Yeah. So I think that I think that's a good point. There was a stretch a few years ago, Hayes, you for sure remember, where they had all these injuries on defense. Like it was like Riley, Muzzin, Brody. It was like everyone was out, and they played awesome defensively. And like it was like their top pair was like Sandin and Hall.
Justin Hall
was playing, was like their number one defenseman. It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But there was such a buy-in, like we have to play really well defensively to get by through the stretch, and they played pretty well. So I guess that's what you're saying, Strutty. Like if they can somehow do that, where the mentality changes, it's just like we got to win every game, like 2-1. That's the only way.
Yeah.
There's just been no evidence that is what this team can do, and like then there's the question of like, can they do it with this system, with this coach? Like that was a different coach. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is all on the table for them. Again, it's interestingly enough, their former coach is in town tonight, and he's on the hot seat. Because they've been dealing with injuries, but they had high hopes this year, and they're not playing well.
Nope.
Jersey's not in a great place. So, there's a lot of teams that are dealing with a lot. The Leafs are no different. But if this is going to spiral out of control, then it does beg the question, like, what happens big picture? Is it a just season for hell? You flush it, you reset the summer, and you continue into the future? I think it's possible they look at it that way. Like you mentioned Pelly, I would go a step higher than that. You look at the team down the street that plays at the Rogers Center. They had a season from hell in 2024.
You're right.
That was equally as bad as, probably worse than what the Leafs are going through right now. And everyone on earth, Schneider's got to go, Atkins has got to go, Shapiro's got to go. And the owner of the team, who now owns the Maple Leafs, exclusively, more or less. He certainly has the power to do whatever he wants. Chose not to do it. And he chose consistency. He chose a commitment to like a coherent system from top to bottom that they believed would pay off. Apples to oranges in terms of the sports. It's a totally different game. It's a totally different lifestyle. It's a very different world. I get it. But I think you got to look past Pelly and you got to look a little bit higher. I'm not convinced this owner just decides everything's going to be out of here because of one bad year. I'm not convinced he looks at it that way. And I can understand why he might not, because of the lesson he just learned with the Jays, that was a season for hell. And the next year, they were in Game 7 of the World Series against the Dodgers. So I guess that's my way of saying I'm not sure you can predict what's going to happen here.
It's so complicated, though, because you and I have argued, like, what does, like, Strutty, like, if you're going to give up on the season. Like Tree Living was asked that last week. Pierre asked him like about trades, and Tree Living said exactly what you said. He said, we're not waving the white flag. I don't think he said yet, but that's implied, I guess.
It's reasonable that they're not doing that right now.
No, like the season's not even halfway over, but like what does it even look like if you do wave the white flag, and where does it get you? Because like what you said initially was, is it just 1 year? And so if you wave the white flag for this year, what does it mean for next year? Because if you're trying to compete again next year, what are you selling and what are you getting, and what does free agency bring you that can build your team in a way that actually makes it a contender next year?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like, that's the thing. Like baseball, there is free agency actually exists.
Yep.
And they were able to, like the pieces they had actually didn't really work.
Yeah, they actually didn't factor
But they
much.
had some guys come up from the minors who had a huge impact. The Leafs don't have that. So it's not a perfect comparable. So, like, I don't know what you even do to wave the white flag.
Well, that's the question is, that's the ultimate job of the GM, right? To evaluate what you really are. Now, every GM is biased, right? They all claim like, no, I'm going to be objective. No, it's your guys. You brought them in. These are your people. So he looks at his players and his team differently. I don't think Brad Treliving or any GM in his situation, if this goes south, would ever walk in and say, it's all me. I made horrible decisions. Please let me, choose other guys. No one's going to do that, right? He's not going to do that. So he's, I'm sure, going to pitch season from hell, injuries. We're actually still really good. We're much more like the team before that went to the second round and pushed Florida to Game 7. That's how close we still are. Forget about this year. I'm not sure he's right about that. I think when the dust settles, even prior to this year, last year, they haven't won anything with a lot of these core players. But I think what I believe has to happen, and I know you and I do not see eye to eye, and I'm curious where you stand on this, Strud. Whether it's Brad Treliving or some other GM in the future, they have got to commit to a farm system here at some point. You have to get draft picks. You've got to get prospects. You have to stop living in a day-to-day world and start living in a year-to-year world, because they've been doing it forever. And last year, it's very evident. With Shanahan's last year, they went all in. They gave the Tanev deal that everyone looked at and said, 6 years? He's not playing 6 years, just like Florida did with Marchand. The same reaction. Like, how do you give that? There's no way he's going to give you value for that. But they're like, we need him this year. Scott Laughton, we'll pay the price. Brandon Carlo, we'll pay the price. We're going to bring in Craig Berube, who's a guy, a rah-rah, catch lightning in a bottle coach, kick the can around and make sure that he gets the most out of these guys for 1 year. And it was trending in a great direction. They won the division. They beat up, to an extent, on Ottawa. Get to the second round. You're up 2-0 in the series, 2-0 in the game 3, pivotal game. And it all went to hell on them. But at some point, you need prospects. You need cheap talent. You need guys that you can commit to, especially Struddy, if free agency doesn't exist in the league anymore, because it doesn't exist really. So you got to have your own guys that you can sign and keep. And they have no draft picks. They have very few prospects. And I get why they're in this position, because for a decade it's been like go, 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 go. At some point, you need young players coming through your system. They have to find a way to get them.
So I think this has been something I've been talking about a lot, is that in the Canadian market, I think a lot of times they feel pressure to go for it, even though they're really not that good a team. And we've seen in Toronto where they've gone in, and you've talked about trading draft picks out. And we've also seen in Edmonton to try to expedite when they got Connor McDavid. The Oilers traded a first and second rounder for a player named Griffin Reinhart.
Right.
Now, you may not be familiar with Griffin Reinhart. I wouldn't blame you, because I don't even know if he's playing hockey anymore. That first and second rounder, the first rounder could have been, I think it might have been, could have taken Barzell.
Yep.
You could have taken, what's that guy in Minnesota again? Oh, yeah, Eriksson Ek. An unbelievable second center, or first center, I guess, depending on your team, and an unreal third line center. So rushing it doesn't work, and I never understood that, but I think I've finally got it. They have to play the market a bit. We're going to go all in. I think of when the Maple Leafs traded for, was it Ryan O'Reilly?
Yeah.
The centerman?
Yeah.
Him. The Oilers traded for Anticiu, 2 seconds for Anticiu prior to COVID. Like, you're just forcing something that's not, and the team wasn't going to compete anyways. I think in those years, you say, you take your chips, I'm just going to put them back under, I'm walking away. We're not going to win. Yeah, the players might not be happy, but I'll have that powder dry for the summer or for another time. But now it's too late. It's too late. The damage is done. So now you got to restock that prospect pool, and the Leafs have the resources to have a scout in every arena in Europe, in every college facility. They could do it all and find it. And then when you get identify those players, you bring them in, you develop them. Like, that's their advantage, because they have so much cash to spend and a willingness, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's what Shanahan did when he first got here.
Yeah, that's where I kind of disagree.
What?
You don't like that plan?
I mean, no. And Hayes and I have disagreed with this about over the years. I think if you're a cup contender, you have to try to win.
How is this team a cup contender?
No,
I know we have these chats all the
in
time.
previous years. I'm not saying so much this year.
But
they don't have
were they really?
But
all those years, they like, come on.
But there's a difference between trying to win and being reckless, though.
They were reckless in some of those trades, and I did not like some of those trades at the time. I did not like Foligno at the time. I was like, that is not a good trade.
Crazy trade.
But the other problem is they had a lot of picks in previous years. They just didn't hit. Like, in 2020, they had like 12 picks.
That's another part of it.
In 2019, they had 6. Like, I'm looking at it, they had 6 picks. In 2018, they just missed.
Their scouts weren't that good. You're right.
And on the ones that they did hit, like Sean Dursey, they traded him for Jake Muzzin. Like, that was a good trade. Like, that's a trade you make. They trade Sandin. I mean, you can debate that trade, but like,
not a great trade. But they got Cowan for the pick.
But they got Cowan. Like, some of these trades they could go through, and it's like, well, that makes sense. Like, trading for Ryan O'Reilly made sense. Like, I'm sorry. Like, when you're in a position to win the cup and you can get Ryan O'Reilly, I think you try to do it.
Did you really think they were a top 5 that year?
Yes, Struddy, they were a top 5 team in the league. Literally, go to the regular season, they were. Well, that was the thing, but that's why you make trades. Like, you try to make your team a bit better. Like, I get in some of these years, like 2019-20, they had an awful year. They fired their coach, And I remember, do you remember at the deadline, like Dubas came out and was really mad and like they didn't do anything at the deadline because the team wasn't that good. And maybe that's just what this year is. Like the team just isn't anything and they don't have anything to trade.
Mm-hmm.
But they just missed on a lot of picks. And like you can't miss and trade all your picks and be in a situation where you have young players.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Well, and it is a double-edged sword. If you have the picks, you got to get the right guys, clearly. And I don't, their scouts, historically, the Leafs have always...
They haven't drafted.
They haven't drafted well. Now, there's a lot of teams in the league that haven't. And a lot of it is luck, clearly. A lot of it is, wow, I can't believe that guy. We got him in the third round. He turned into a great player. It doesn't seem to break the Leafs' way a lot where that happens. They get a guy in the second, third, fourth round. He turns into some superstar. But, you've got to be able to replenish your farm system at some point.
And it can't be an accident that Dallas just keeps getting players.
Well, and look,
Tampa just keeps.
Dallas is a great example.
Yeah.
Like, look at who they've drafted and developed over the years. And it just keeps happening. And then they can go and get Rantanen because they've got Stankoven.
Yes.
Who I think they took in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to get a Stankoven to make that trade, you got to have the pick. And they don't have them. They don't have the picks. And I think what you just said there, Struddy, is important. Like patience. Sometimes you got to wait for the next train. And it's easier said than done. But you can't keep living in the
60 years since they won a cup.
Know,
like if you're not trying to win a cup, like what are you doing?
But the point is, though, Jonas.
I know.
What if I could tell you they will win in 5 years, but you have to be patient. Like you have to replenish the farm system. You got to get picks. You got to trade guys you maybe didn't think you wanted to trade. You got to pass on signing a guy. You say, wait a minute, that's a good player. No, I'm telling you, pass on him because there's another guy coming up 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Isn't it worth waiting for the 5 years as opposed to saying, no, I'm going to roll my dice on the next 4, going all in every single year and hope we beat the 5-year timeline. Because the point is, for 60 years, they've been living in that mentality. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Trade. Don't get this guy. Don't get that guy. And look at the position they're in now. Like, at some point, it's got to be a hybrid. I'm not saying I'm not committing to a tank or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But you've got to have a farm system. You've got to have scouts that can find players. Collegiate. Their pro scouting. It needs to be better.
Sure.
There's no excuse, like you said, Strud. They've got more money than anybody else in the league. Go out there and find whoever can do it.
And, Joseph, I understand the 60 years. The problem is I don't think the new GM can think about, those are my sins. Those aren't his sins. His job's today to make this team better every day. And so, listen, I think the Leafs are, to kind of sum it up, I do think the Leafs are having a really tough year in many different ways. They're a better team than they've shown. I agree. Are they as good as they have been the last couple of years, Jonas? I don't believe they are because Marner's not there, and they're figuring out how to play under that. But they still need. It's clear they need what, two top 6 forwards, a good pucking moving defenseman. I'd say at least one more puck moving defenseman.
Probably another
their goaltending.
goalie.
I'll kind of leave it there. But that's what I would identify for this team.
Yeah. Well, the goaltending has not been a problem for them. It hasn't. Like,
No.
Wall's been good. Hildeby's been good. Like, that would be an easier explanation. If you're in the position you're in because you get an 880 save percentage.
Well, it was happening early, right? In October.
Well, Stolarz wasn't great. But, yes, I mean, Wall and Hildeby have been fine. They're not the reason they're in this position. You can't cite goaltending as why they stink.
But I guess the other question is, like, you mentioned, like, what happens if they miss the playoffs? Do you what do you do with your GM heading into the deadline? Like, how much can you do if, like, you're thinking, like, is this my guy for the long haul?
They've got...
You kind of have to let him be the GM. Like,
you got
he's your
a month
GM,
and a half to figure that out. Yeah. And it's tough. Once you start getting into marching orders, now you're not allowed to do this, not allowed to do that. That gets dicey, man. Because if it's Keith Pelly making that call, what does he know about what they're supposed to do or where the plan's supposed to go?
Right.
It's challenging. But you look at Buffalo. Buffalo's won 9 in a row ever since they fired their GM. I've never seen that before, Strut. Like, you've seen a new coach bump. When you get a new GM bump in the league?
Well, I think there's more. They're a better team on paper than they've shown, I think. And Lindy Ruff maybe found something. I think that started before.
Adams was let go.
He came out, but still, like, they're a decent team, and like, they've got talent, especially that back end. My God, they've got some nice players back there. So, 9 in a row, and it's crazy. They're not even a playoff spot.
I know.
Can you imagine if they had won? Even if they only won 5. So, are they a playoff team? Well, they're in the fight for it. Doesn't mean they are today, but they're definitely going the right direction. I mean, they're fun to watch again.
They are. Yeah, to their credit, man. They're battling. And like their goal differential, they're back up to just even on the season. 9 wins in a row. They have a 0 goal differential.
9 wins.
Yeah, it's incredible. But that's what the Leafs have to do. That's what Columbus has got to do. Ottawa lost again last night. They do not look good. Allmark's gone. They don't know when he's going to return, personal reasons. Yeah, it's a weird time. All right, Bruce Boudreau coming up on this and more. The O-Dog will join us. Canada looked great last night. That was expected. You felt they were going to win big, but the top 2 lines were really good. Now we set up for Finland on New Year's and what we can expect once we get into the knockout stage. So the O-Dog will join us in just over half an hour. Confirm or deny at 5:30 today. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
Bears backhand towards the goal. Loose puck. Everything scores! Can you believe it?
The 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship from Minnesota continues tomorrow on TSN 1050 as Canada takes on Finland to ring in the new year. Watch it on TSN and TSN Plus. Hear it on TSN 1050 starting at 8 p.m.
Canada has the lead.
The World Juniors live here. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Tough one for the Rams last night. Not playing for anything. But now everyone's like, Matthew Stafford gave up the MVP last night. Drake May's the man. Drake May's a heavy favorite, I believe, now on FanDuel. So we'll see. Maybe there will be a little bit of debate there. There's going to be debate in the next 24 hours when it comes to Team Canada.
I got to tell you, Struddy, I don't know if you felt this way. San Jose wins again last night. Celebrini, I think it might be the take of the year.
My take?
Your take. He's not that far behind, like from McDavid.
He has 60 points.
Yeah, and those guys are like 68, 69.
He has 31 more points than Will Smith. He doesn't get to play with Draisaitl. He doesn't play with McCarr. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to start this segment with that, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
We didn't plan this either. Like, I actually was thinking about it coming in today. I was like, man, Hayes might have been right.
Celebrini has been just as good. Struddy, you guys laughed at me yesterday.
I did.
This guy can win the Hart Trophy.
It's just I've seen McDavid look like
McDavid's a better player than anybody. And McKinnon, I think, is too. And I would say McCarr is too because they're in their prime.
Yes.
It's the narrative of driving his team in the playoffs, which he's not guaranteed to do. I'm not convinced they make it. Where Colorado will, Edmonton will. Not convinced San Jose gets in. Beating his teammate by 50 points. He might finish with 130 points. Like 50-plus goals, 130 points. He's 19 years old. How can Celebrini not win the Hart? I love that this is happening. I love that this is happening. Go ahead, Strud.
I love the victory lap. I really appreciate it on a Tuesday.
3 points last night. He looked great.
Yeah,
you see that? See that puck retrieval in the neutral zone? Drives hard to the net. You got to appreciate that.
I do. I mentioned yesterday, back checking's coaches hockey porn, right? They love that stuff. So this is where we're at. And I said it last night. I think that, his team has to make the playoffs for him to be in contention. I think that's a pretty big thing. But if you take any one of those players off their team, he has the biggest effect on his team. And I think that's what the award's for, right? I don't know if it's the best player. Isn't it the player? What is it? What's the wording, Joan? It's
the
something
most
valuable. It's
team.
an arbitrary definition.
I mean, Struddy, like I gave McDavid a first place vote when they missed the playoffs in Edmonton. Like
You did?
Yeah, I don't know how. He was the best. He was amazing.
He is the best player.
He is.
And it happened like throughout LeBron's career. It was like, you're the best player, but
he didn't win.
Russell Westbrook's going to get it this year. And then Harden's going to get it this year. And, it's a tough bar that gets set. Yeah. All right, let's bring in Bruce here because I'm curious where Bruce Boudreau stands.
But you should be, you got to own this.
I got to own it now while I can.
No. Take it the rest of the year.
This in general? Okay, I'm going to own
your beat.
I'm owning this. Bruce, where do you stand on the idea that Macklin Celebrini could win the Hart Trophy this year?
Well, I think it's excuse me, if they make the playoffs, you're going from worst to making the playoffs, and it's all because of one player. All. So, I would have to think that the worst case scenario, he's nominated for it. But I would certainly make a good plan for him or a good talk for him to win it. Because I mean, when you just said 130 points, I just thought of how impossible is that, because he doesn't have the surrounding cast that anybody else would have. I mean, he's got Will Smith, but he's only 19 years old or 20 years old, and they don't have the defenseman. They don't have Makar. They don't have the power play Edmonton has. They just got this guy, and it's not that difficult to check one guy, but it is difficult to check one guy in this guy's case. And that's so I think you got a really good point there.
Whew, man, the take of the year, just
really
sliding
good.
it in.
Yeah, it's really
sliding
good.
it
Right
in.
before the new year.
Right before the wire.
And
man.
I haven't heard this before. That's the other thing. Like, this is
Thank
an
you.
original take.
Well,
and it's
there you go.
smart.
It's trademarked. It's officially mine.
It kills me to actually have to
I own it, and I appreciate it. Well, and the reason it came up yesterday, Bruce, is, you know, we're talking about Celebrini and how great McDavid's been and McKinnon and Team Canada and the announcement tomorrow. And we were having the chat about, like, Celebrini's role on the team. We all assume he's going to make it. He has to make it. But I don't see him as like a 13, 14 forward because he's 19 years old. I don't see a scenario where if I'm John Cooper, you just ease him in. I think you got to unleash him and let him play a lot and play with good players. Where do you see it going with Celebrini at the Olympics? Again, assuming he's there.
I think you move one of the great centers to wing and let him play center, because he's not a fourth line guy. Even though before he's doing all this scoring, we've all talked about his two-way play and that he's a two-way center and could do it. But I think, I've seen in other Olympics where Team Canada is using 8 centers on their forward lines, and they move to different positions. Crosby's done it many times, moved to the left side. I would think that a guy like McKinnon can play the right side and control the boards and still be very, very good. But this guy has earned it. I don't care what his age is. When you're hoping for Team Canada, you don't look at the ages. You want the best fits for the best players. And I think he has earned it right from the get-go. I'm all in with Macklin Celebrini.
So, Bruce, we'll all agree that he's in. So, outside of him, when the team's rolled out tomorrow, who will be a player that surprised you as far as what you didn't see? Maybe you didn't think he'd be on the team in August, and now he is on the team, in your opinion, tomorrow.
Oh man, I don't know. I was just going through right now. There's so many guys who go, "Oh, what about him? What about him?" And then I think of John Cooper saying, "Oh, you know what? There's some great resumes that aren't going to make the team." So as soon as he said that, I went, "Okay, Hagel and Cirelli are in." Knowing how much he likes his guys. So I think there's going to be very big scores that aren't in. But I think you're going to have the cast of characters. I mean, I think unless they move him to wing, you got the 2 best centers and Sydney playing third, and actually the number 3 scorer in the league as another center. So, I mean, the biggest thing with me is I think Drew Doughty will make it for sure. I think they need that ilk of a defenseman in there. I don't think Schaefer will make it this year, even though he's had a great rookie year. I think if there's any weakness, it's on Team Canada's defense, but they need the bigger, stronger guys in there. And I don't think Bouchard will make it myself, or I wouldn't. Anyway, I read a quote today that he can be the best player on either team in the same shift. So you don't know. I think you have to know what you're getting sometimes with him.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think he's going to be there. It doesn't sound like Bedard. We'll see. We'll find out tomorrow. But I think the injury hurt him. But in reality, he probably wasn't going to be on it anyway. He probably falls into the same line of thinking that Schaefer does, and the way you determine that. What about Tom Wilson, a guy you know very, very well? I think a lot of Canadians are wondering, what is Wilson going to bring if he's on this team? He wasn't on the Four Nations. You watch him play every single game. If he's on this team, what kind of role can he play, and how big of an impact do you think Tom Wilson can have?
Well, to me, he can have a big impact. And the one thing you're going to have to do in this tournament is it's to me, it's not about analytics. It's winning the one-on-one battles and winning the wall battles. And that's the one thing. Tom Wilson is big, strong. Plus, he's got 20 goals. I mean, the guy can score if you give him an opportunity. He kills penalties for the Caps. He's their best player. But the most important thing is winning the board battles, getting the pucks out when you need to get pucks out. You can't do that if you've got nothing but skilled players. You got to, as you guys know, winning those one-on-one battles. Win, and you always said it as a coach. We win the battles, we're going to win the game. And I fully believe that that's one of the main reasons. It's not about fighting, because you can't fight. You're out if you fight. So he's not going to fight, but he can finish checks and win those battles and be the guy in front of the net that's hard to move. And I just think he's a great player, and he's grown into this leadership role. And I think he'd be a really good player for Team Canada.
Bruce, I have one more Olympic question for you, and I think it's about the goaltending. I think the decision with Jordan Binnington is fascinating because he wins them the Four Nations, not having a good year, the backup right now in St. Louis. Clearly, they probably feel loyal to him, but he's not had a great year. What do you think they should do with that? Like, do you just bring him as your third goalie? Do you not bring him at all? Like, where do you stand on Binnington for Team Canada?
Well, it's Doug Armstrong's doing most of the picking, and everybody, they sit there and they say, "I know what he can do in pressure times, and he's won a cup for me. He's won Four Nations for me." I'm thinking he's going to bring him out of the loyalty, but I think that's where the loyalty ends. The best player is going to start. I think that's Logan Thompson to me. Um, I mean, I think it was 2010 where. Was it Luongo that started and Brodeur went in after that? I mean, the first round, the positioning round is they might give Binnington a start and let's see how he goes. But if he's not as good as you need him to be, then they'll move on and they'll get one of the other goalies. Because I mean, hey, listen, it could be Wedgwood, it could be Kemper. There's some good goalies there. Like I mean, and if you go just straight, who's having the better year? Bennington's not going to make it, but I think they will keep him on the team for what he's done for Team Canada before.
With Bruce Boudreau, how about these Buffalo Sabres, Bruce? They've won 9 in a row. They're knocking on the door of a playoff spot. It's incredible. Are you a believer that they're a legitimate playoff team, or is this just them being red hot and getting some sort of a new GM bump? I'm not sure how else to describe it. How much of this is legitimate in your opinion?
Well, you know what? I think for years we've talked about how talented they are individually, but they were never a good team. I think Lindy's finally got them straightened around. But listen, winning 9 games in a row doesn't guarantee you anything, because I'm a big believer that losing streaks follow winning streaks and winning streaks follow losing streaks. And so, I mean, but what has to do is after this 10-game stint, I think they got to go 7-3 in the next 10 and get that consistency for me to believe that they're going to be there in March when everything is said and done. It's great what they're doing. I remember it was only a few years ago they had a 10 or 12 game winning streak in November, and then all of a sudden they went and weren't in it at the end. But I love what they're doing now, and they're doing it by not allowing goals and playing as a team. And so, but after this streak ends, if they can continue and be consistent in the next 10 games, then I think they've got a really good chance. Because once you see that finish line and you're this close after you haven't been making it for so long, you dig deep and you find a way to make it. So it's not this streak that gets me, it's the next one.
Bruce, when my teams would have a lot of injuries, I'd be not happy, but I'd be like, at least I know I'd get to play a lot, so I wouldn't wear my suit under my equipment. I know I was going to be getting a lot of ice time. I'm guessing as a coach, when some of your top players aren't available, you're not too excited. So how do you approach the situation for the Leafs that have, recently and specifically, I guess, tonight, some pretty key players out of their lineup?
Yeah, I mean, but you look around the league, and for short periods of time, the rest of the guys come up. If these are long-term injuries,
Sure.
it really becomes a problem. Nylander missed the last game. What happened? The Leafs played pretty good, in Detroit. But with the injuries today, if everybody's out that they say is out, it's going to be a struggle, especially if Matthews is out and Nylander's out, Joshua's out, and Tanev is out, but if you're in the room, you never bring it up. You never say we got a lot of injuries and guys you gotta step up. If anything, you say this is the best chance. Doing something that other people don't think you can do is the greatest reward, is what I always used to say, and sort of being the total underdog and getting the satisfaction of winning and trying to make them picture that is, to me, is what I would do and how I would approach it always. And I think that's what you got to do. Make it into a positive, turn this negative where really good players are out, turn it into a positive.
Love it. Well, let's see what they've got tonight. Big one in town with New Jersey here. Enjoy it, Bruce. Have yourself a great New Year. As always, great seeing you. Thank you for doing this.
Hey, I got to say one thing before I leave. I appreciate that. The last time I was on, I made that bold, I've been thinking about it every day, that bold prediction that 6 Canadian teams are going to make the playoffs. I got to rescind that a little bit.
Okay. You're going to change? You're taking 1 or 2 off? I don't blame you.
O-Dog laughed at me the last time I did that, and he said, 1, maybe. And I went, that's pretty big discrepancy. So I'm saying at least 2 make it this time.
All right, I like it. I'm with you on that. Keep moving the goalposts. We allow that. Yeah. That's what we do on a daily basis, Bruce. We love it. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for this. Thanks, as always. Guys. Great seeing you, Bruce Boudreau. Yeah, and unfortunately, I think O was right. I think Bruce was he was bullish on these Canadian teams figuring it out, but like Winnipeg lost again last night. Like they're tied with Chicago. Yeah. Like they're dead last in the league in points.
And it's been going on a while now.
Yeah, like they really struggle. They've lost 6 in a row. Vancouver's a struggle. Calgary's a struggle. Like there's 3 Canadian teams. Obviously the Leafs are in trouble. Ottawa's in big trouble. Brady Tkachuk does not look like himself.
The goalie just left.
Allmark is out for personal reasons. But even when Allmark was playing, he wasn't playing well.
Yeah, he got pulled here.
So I think there's trouble there. There's trouble brewing. Like right now, it's obviously Edmonton. Edmonton feels good about themselves. The Habs have been pretty consistently good all year. Like we'll see. Is that going to hold on? I don't know. I think so. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a real chance only 2 teams make it.
It's incredible. Well, I remember saying last year that there's more talent than ever on Canadian teams. Mm-hmm. And then, Quinn Hughes gets traded, Marner leaves. You're like, oh, whoa, okay, slow down, everybody. Like, that's a lot of good. Just those 2 guys alone. Yeah. 2 of the best players in the league, right? So
Ehlers left, JT Miller.
Ehlers, JT
Miller
point.
A couple of years ago. Yeah,
you're right. It's, I'll give Calgary credit. They're trying to get in there. They're well coached. Like that coaching staff, led by Ryan Huskins, is really doing their best to keep these guys going. I don't know if they have enough high-end talent to do it. And then what do they do with some of those guys? Like, do they try to make the playoffs, or they move guys out? Like, what does ownership want to do? It's confusing or complicated, I should say there.
Well, the West, though, is you can get in still. Like we talked about San Jose, they're barely in. Like Nashville's starting to win now. Mm-hmm. And you look at Calgary, you look at Utah, Seattle, like none of them are great teams, but I'm sure they're looking at it thinking we can catch San Jose. You can get it feels like that second wild card in the West could be 90 points.
Yeah.
So I am curious to see what happens in the next couple of months. All right, the O-Dog coming up in about 15 minutes. Confirm or deny in about 45. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on TSN 2.
Backhand towards the goal, loose puck, everything scores! Can you believe it?
The 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship from Minnesota continues tomorrow on TSN 1050 as Canada takes on Finland to ring in the new year. Watch it on TSN and TSN Plus. Hear it on TSN 1050 starting at 8 p.m.
Canada has the lead.
The World Juniors live here. Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, the O-Dog coming up live from Minnesota. Confirm or deny in the next hour. Tough news on Jokic, out for at least a month. But it sounds like actually it was a positive
I love when teams frame it like that.
Yeah,
it could have been.
It could have been worse. It could have been done for the year, which I guess when you're dealing with that guy, I mean, it looked pretty ugly.
Can't even watch.
Yeah, those are tough.
Can't even watch.
Those are tough, and it's just a fluky basketball play.
Oh.
And when he went down like that, like watching the replay, you're like, this guy might be done for the year.
Oh.
And if so, it would have obviously changed the whole landscape of the NBA.
Yeah.
But is it a month? Is it just the doors wide open now for Shea to
win the MVP?
Basically win the MVP unanimously?
I mean, Wembanyama's going to have a case.
Wemby's
Their record's awesome.
Spurs they're knocking on the door. Now, he's not playing a ton.
No, but they've beaten OKC three times.
On Christmas Day, they went into Oklahoma City and beat
pumped them.
Yeah. But I don't even think he was in the starting five.
No, he was on the bench. He was on a minutes restriction. But by the end of the year, if he's played enough games, I guess that's the other thing. Is he going to play enough games?
I don't know. That's a big thing. Adam Silver put that number in, right?
That one?
Got to play 65 games, I think. Luke is in the running, but the Lakers are not in a good place right now. So, it kind of feels like Shea. I mean, could Cade Cunningham be in the running? Possibly. I mean, if Detroit holds on and they win, I don't think Brunson's had a good year. The Knicks are playing well. It just felt like it was Jokic, and if not Jokic, it was going to be Gilgeous-Alexander. And if Jokic is out for a month, I don't know if that takes him completely out of the running.
Probably. I guess it's games. Like, is he going to play enough games?
That's it. It probably does. So it just feels like Shea's going to – he's not backdooring into it. Like, they've been great. He's been great. But what an opportunity for him to stack another MVP. Does that officially pass Steve Nash?
Well, Nash had two, right?
Right, but he's got a Finals MVP as well.
Oh, yeah. His career he's better than Nash.
But is he a better player than Nash?
Yes.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
I don't know if
Nash
he's better.
is awesome, but he's different. I mean,
Nash was revolutionary, though, man. The way they played in Phoenix,
too,
and man, it was something. Like that 7-second offense was wild the way they played.
And kind of the first Canadian, right? Wasn't he the first really good Canadian?
First really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a difference, because you're kind of a trailblazer.
Yeah, so I agree. You got there first.
Yeah, because it wasn't. I mean, an NBA. I mean, remember when Weir won the Masters and then he won the NBA? I didn't think I'd see that. Yep. I didn't think we were capable of that as a nation.
I agree.
Now here we are. We've got some really good talent in both sports.
Yeah. No, you're right. Mike Weir got there first, and Steve Nash got there first. I guess you could argue Larry Walker maybe got there first, maybe a Canadian prior to him.
Good one.
Anyway, all right. O-Dog coming up, confirm and deny in the next hour. Leafs back in action tonight, and they are depleted. A lot of injury news today. We'll get back into it in hour two. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
This is Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Don't be shy, shy, shy. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Hour two Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line of the final score. Brian Hayes, Jonas Siegel, Jason Strudwick. A little confirm or deny later in the hour. The O-Dog Jeff O'Neill will join us here in just a few moments. He's in Minnesota for the World Juniors. And evidently he's been in the gym a lot.
What's going on? He's tracking everybody else. Like, how much time is he spending in there tracking everyone else's workouts?
I know. Isn't that aggravating, too? Wouldn't that be annoying if he's just watching you and wondering?
How do you know this? Fill me in.
So he's been tweeting out every day his rankings for kind of gym warriors. Who's been putting in the hardest work, who's been showing up, and naturally he's claiming he's right in the mix, every single day. And he's tweeted out a number of former NHLers that are there. I think there's GMs and scouts and then TSN people. And he generally is indicating that no one else at TSN is doing anything. That's kind of the consensus, right, Strud? Is that your read on it?
It is.
He's the only guy with work ethic in Minnesota?
But he'll put Rich Peverly stretching routine, whatever, this player doing this. And then Cheryl Pounder comes over the top and she's like, we're there early. Oh, you're not awake yet or something. I thought it was a great answer, but I want to know what his routine is. I see him as put his foot up on the bench, couple hammy stretches, then jog for 20 minutes.
Definitely.
That's what I envision of him.
Definitely. He's got the same routine that I have. Stretching is important. A little, you get the sweat going a little bit. And then you mix in a couple of weights and you get out of there. You got a job to do, right? I don't understand people that are grinding in the gym when you're going to be at the rink all day. It's a long day. Get the heart rate going a little bit, but it's a tune-up. That's what it is when you're working. It's one thing if you're not working and you're actually trying to like drive for some sort of success in some area of, exercise. But this is
being healthy.
Yeah, well, yeah, healthy, I guess. That's a New Year's resolution, though. We're still in 2025. I'm not starting that for a couple of days, Strud. But, yeah, I guess he's kind of like a hallway monitor down there for the gym, which is really, really – it's got to be incredibly aggravating for people. And we'll see what he's doing. And we'll get his take on the game last night where you played Denmark. You know they're going to win big.
I thought the American game was really fun. Did you catch any of that?
I saw a little bit
entertaining.
of it. There's always great games. Like I always – you tell how big this tournament is in this country when you talk to people that say, hey, did you see the Finland game?
Yeah.
And you're like – and you can actually say, actually, I did have that on. What a game. Where – it's one thing to watch Canada exclusively. It's another thing to track the other games where there's just bedlam happening all the time and there's lead changes and mistakes and uber talents.
Why is that? Why do you think it's so like it's like March Madness kind of?
Yeah. The nature of the age of the players, man.
Yeah,
they're not
stress.
Yeah. Well, that's a big part of it too, right?
Yeah.
Like think about how nervous these kids are.
Yeah. And immature, right? They're young. They're young. Like they're old teenagers, so their game the elite ones, but a lot of them are, still they're barely, they're barely.
They're trying to figure it out.
Not high school.
They're trying to figure it out. All right, here he is, the hallway monitor of the gym down in Minnesota. The
stretching
Jeff
routine.
O'Neill. So take us through this whole routine. Like, when did you become the guy who monitors what happens at the gym, and what kind of hat are you wearing there too? I can't really see it.
It's a Toronto Maple Leaf hat, best hat in the world, best organization in the world.
All right, continue.
But
anyway,
the whole gym system started with, I just went in there. I go in there every day at 5:36 in the morning. And then I started noticing Frankie was there one day. Duffy was walking at level 2 and a level 2 speed. So he got some lower marks. And then some different people started filtering in. But it got out of hand quickly because when I got to the rink for some games, some scouts were coming up to me saying, I was in the gym. Why didn't you mention me? And I'm like, look, man, it's really not that serious of a thing. EJ Raddick, who works for the NHL Network, said, don't disrespect me. I work out at night. I said, okay, EJ.
All right.
And I thought, this guy's lying. And then last night we came home rather late and we turned the corner and the gym faces right out front when we pull in. And I'll tell you what, he was on the treadmill at 11 o'clock at night. So good for EJ Raddick.
Attaboy. Okay, well, there you go. I'm not sure. Do you know where this is going now, Jonas?
No, are you carrying a clipboard around and just marking people down?
You sound like a nuisance. Like you sound like you're bothering people with your reports.
A bully, a gym bully.
A gym bully, exactly.
I am not a gym bully. I just am having some fun with it. I like to put some different people in there. If I see some people getting a sweat on, I'll give them full marks. And other people, if they're being lazy, like there's a very high-ranking senior producer at Bell and TSN named Franklin Rubenstein, who does a treadmill workout that he should be ashamed of. He walks like slower than a senior citizen for about 12 minutes, and he gets off and gets a coffee. Awful.
Now, what's your routine? Because I see you as a lot of stretch, a lot of checking the phone, and little action.
No, I got to be honest, Struddy, since I started with my trainer a couple of years ago, we do a series, and you can ask Duffy if you get him on. We do a serious circuit and about 40 minutes of cardio. So that's what we do every day. Every day,
is he there with
6
you?
days
Like,
a week.
Does he travel with you?
No, you don't think I can do it on my own now? And I got to tell you guys one.
I don't know. Go ahead.
I got to tell you guys one thing. You think you know somebody until you get into a rental car with them. Because Frank Corrado, to me, has been a very dear friend, a guy that I like. I like talking to him. I like hanging out with him, and I like working with him. This guy's the worst driver in Canada, and I don't know how it's affecting our relationship because I can't look at him like he's like. Have you ever got in the car with somebody? You're just like, dude, worst driver, Canada's worst driver. I'm telling you, it's garbage, and it's affecting the way I view him, man.
I understand that. That really, it is a real game changer. Like, do you
Dude,
think
it
you got to
is.
read
Like,
on a
if
guy?
someone's a garbage driver, you got a serious problem. And that guy
Yeah.
has to drive me every day.
Yeah, that
So what's
changes
the
your
problem?
whole perception of somebody. Go
Like,
ahead.
is
What's
he
the
blowing
issue with
red
Frankie?
lights?
It's just,
What is
I don't know. He's weaving through traffic, no signals, icy road. Everything about it is terrible. He's a really bad driver. And I had to look at him halfway to the rink on the first day, and I said, "Look, man, you're an awful driver. You got to slow down, and you got to stop this, and we got to learn how to drive properly." So he's smartened up a little bit.
Okay, that's disappointing to hear. Well, in terms of what's going on with the tournament, I mean, I that was expected last night that obviously Canada would win and win big. I think that top line, the Misa kid, man, was he dancing last night? Like, that's got to happen, right? If you got a taste of the NHL, he has got to dominate, right? Like, you've got to expect Misa to be maybe the best player in the tournament, or certainly close to it. Is that reasonable to expect based on what you saw last night?
I think this team, Hayes, is a lot like a lot of other gold medal teams that I've seen in the past, where if they're going to get this done, they have a bunch of different players that can contribute. And I think Michael Misa definitely has to be one of those guys. We've seen, other guys step up in the first couple games, and you're watching Michael Misa, who's quite the decorated junior player. And you're like, okay, when are you going to kind of take control? And he was motoring last night. I know it was a weaker opponent, but it was great for him to kind of get some confidence, and he can be one of those guys. I thought it might be one of those years where Gavin McKenna might pull a Bedard in Halifax, where he was kind of all over and just like the most dominant player. And he had a hat trick last night, but it's not going to be a Bedard-like performance where this guy steals the show and single-handedly wins them games every night. But I'll tell you what, they got a bunch of guys that are real good offensively, and they should be, very serious contenders that put a gold medal around their neck.
So, Doc, they unlocked the offense. And my criticism for the first two games was it looked like it was more individual. I'm not suggesting they were selfish, but they didn't know how to work together or more importantly, work off each other. Did you see a shift over the course of the game last night that they could carry into their next game?
Strutty, I think it just gets to a point where, they're trying to get this team together and play like a unit. And sometimes it just takes a little bit. And maybe sometimes it takes Denmark as an opponent where everybody kind of gels and gets comfortable with each other. And I think just the understanding that Dale Hunter does not screw around, and it's kind of getting close to crunch time and everybody wants to put their best foot forward to make an impression on the coach, so that he knows who can be trusted and who can't be trusted. So everybody's trying their best to make an impression on the coach. And it's like, we might as well get it together now because we've got Finland and then elimination games. And it's like, you know what it's like during those games. Not everybody's going to be happy. So they want to be one of those guys that's leaned on.
Jeff, who has impressed you the most so far?
I would say Zayn Parekh is one of them, the defenseman for the Calgary Flames. Just the way he can pass the puck. And I mean, I'm not going to say world, including the NHL, but I'll tell you what, I know what it sounds like, and I know what it looks like when a guy can make just a laser 30, 40-foot pass that's on the tape, and he does it every single time. He's one of the best passers I've seen in this tournament, and the way he can see the ice and the way he can create offense, if he can the way I described it the other day is if he can stiffen up in some areas of his game, like in the corners, and learn how to defend a little bit better and get a little bit nastier, he's going to be a dangerous piece of work out there in Calgary. Whether that happens or not, I don't know, because he's not going to be able to pull off the skill moves he's doing at this tournament in the next level. But I'll tell you what, he can zing that puck around, and his passing ability is quite impressive. And I don't get impressed often by passes because I've seen some stuff that's pretty ridiculous.
Every time he's on the ice.
This guy's pretty.
Yeah, he can play.
Every time he's on the ice, he's just zinging it around.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the discussion, right? Like you talk about cohesion. A lot of it's transition. Can you move? We talk about it in this town with the Leafs every single game. Can you get the puck out? Can you get your puck to playmakers? And Parekh can do it. That Keaton Verhoeven kid, he is a monster. Yeah. Man, he is a giant. Like, he looks huge last night. Did he do enough to stay in the lineup, or do you think that was just a gratuitous, like, get your feet wet and we'll see you next year type of play?
I don't know how you would take that guy out of the lineup. A right shot defenseman that's big like that can make the first pass. He can create offense. He makes some creative little plays just inside the blue line. I just like everybody we talk about in the game is just dying for that right-handed defenseman that can do all that stuff. So I really don't see how you take him out of the lineup, Hayes. Like
Yeah, I'd keep
big
him
guy
in.
like that. I know he's only 17 years old, but man, he's a man-child out there. He's a really good player.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like McKenna, I don't know who I'm sure you're talking to a lot of guys out there. Like, is it a lock McKenna's going first overall, or is it possible he gets passed?
You know what? I always put a lot of stake into what Craig Button says, and he says, there's been a lot of Verhoff chatter about he's pushing for number one, but they still think Gavin McKenna is the number one guy, and he does some stuff where everybody was looking at his point totals and his goal totals at Penn State, and they're like, "What's up with this guy? Like, this is not kind of number one overall material." But you watch him last night; he can make some plays that's you look at it and you're like, "That's different than everybody else on the ice." And he's just another guy. Like if you look at his upper body, he's got a lot of growth that needs to happen. But once he kind of puts that muscle on and he develops, he's going to be a dangerous player. He's so smooth through the neutral zone. His vision is incredible. And the passing ability and the playmaking ability on the power play is second to none. So I would still say that he would be the number one guy if I had to make a selection right now. The other kid, Verhoff, obviously looked good. There's a kid, Reed, on the U.S. team that Craig was raving about last night, but I think Gavin McKenna is the number one guy.
So you're in Mini, and the Wild were in Vegas last night. They beat up on the Golden Knights. Is there like a Quinn Hughes?
What's up with the
Well,
Golden Knights, fellas?
They got injuries. Big to Eichel and Theodore out, and Hart was brutal last night. Like the goaltending, that's going to get dicey there, man, because they're all in on Carter Hart. Like that's effectively their guy. But Eichel's been out for a few weeks, and Theodore's been out since like December 10th or 12th. Take a number one center, number one D-man out, you're in trouble. Like they're still in a playoff spot right now. But Vegas does not look great, man. But Mini went in there and just dismantled them last night. Like those top three teams in the Central, they're clearly the best teams in the league right now. Edmonton's been playing great. Struddy, I'm sure you want to chime in on that. Carolina continues to consistently plug along like they will. But man, it's an interesting time in the West because we were talking about it. Like San Jose won again last night. They're in a playoff spot.
Wait, I got to stop you there.
Jonas, you can tell him he's heard every take I've got, but I think I might have slated the best take of 25.
This is going to shock you. He had a great take, and I want your take.
I think I know what you're going to say, and I'm proud of him for saying it. But go ahead, Jonas. Go ahead.
Well, Hayes came up with this theory yesterday, and I was like, this guy is out of his mind. He said Macklin Celebrini should be considered for the Hart Trophy and might even have a case to win it. And I thought about it the last day or so. I was like, he might be right. Is he crazy or what?
That might be the take of 25.
Yes.
Like right under the wire, and now I own it. It's mine. Celebrini's my guy.
Driving the bus.
My guy.
What I'm looking at on the far left of my screen is possibly the best sports host and the smartest sports host in North America with that take.
There we go.
Because he's damn right about it. Macklin Celebrini, if they get in, the San Jose Sharks, Macklin Celebrini, I will start the hashtag. I'll retweet Brian Hayes. Celebrini for Hart all day long. He's been a fantastic story. I think Hayes was a little hesitant early on in the year because of what McKinnon was doing in the Colorado Avalanche. But I'll tell you what, if that guy keeps ringing up points and the Sharks get in, I'm all in on that take, and it's a fantastic comment. I love him for saying it.
I love it. See? A lot of support now, Jonas. All of a sudden, there's a lot of support.
Are you telling me, Jonas, he said that and you questioned it?
Both of them. Struddy's awfully quiet, too. Struddy poo-pooed it quickly.
Well,
He's like, let's not get silly here. Both of you guys jumped
defend
on
us.
me.
Like, come on.
Go ahead.
So this is what we said. I said, Jonas and I both said he could be in the top three because there's a case when Taylor Hall led the Devils in scoring by such a dramatic mark. Now he won it that year, but so I think both Joe and I both like top three, no problem. Winning it was another one. I think making the playoffs is a must. I think they must make the playoffs for him to win it.
100%. They have to.
They have to make the playoffs. That's a known. You don't win the Hart Trophy without making the playoffs. And he also can't get dummied in points by Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon because I think those are going to be your three finalists: McJesus, McKinnon, and Celebrini. And if he can stay within kind of a stone's throw of those guys as far as point totals and the Sharks get in, I'm all in on Celebrini. I love it. But I'll tell you what, there's another guy, Jason. Struddy, there's another comment on the opposite end of the spectrum that guy made at the beginning of the year. He said Connor McDavid peak performance years are out the window, which is completely ridiculous.
Well, that's why I'm all in on Celebrini here. I need Celebrini to win the Hart here.
You know what?
Because I will get crushed if McDavid wins it. Hammer, go ahead,
Dude,
Struddy.
McDavid is making you look like a jackass right now.
But
Yes,
for
he is.
Hayes, that's not the craziest thing he said to me. When he asked me if we have long weekends, what is it, the July or September long
Victoria
weekend?
Day. Victoria Day.
Yeah, Victor, that was the craziest thing. That's why this doesn't even register for me when
You're
he
right.
said that.
You've been completely disarmed.
Yeah.
When I asked you, do you guys get Victoria Day in the West?
Victoria Day.
That was absolute. Like, does May 2-4 exist? You know, and
You guys do Canada Day out
that
there?
was an absurd comment.
That was
owe you an
embarrassing for
apology.
OverDrive.
Yes, I owe you and everyone west of the province of Ontario a sincere apology because that was remarkably ignorant. But you're right, like the amount of people, and I get like McDavid is playing at a level right now that is stupid. He is playing. He's outperforming everybody. He looks almost better than he ever has. Maybe he is.
A revenge mission against you?
Sure.
He heard
maybe he heard me.
He's wearing a Hayes is a fraud shirt.
And again, let me clarify. I want to get this on the record because when I made those comments, I said I'm not sure he's going to win a Hart again. It wasn't like
Dude,
I remember
from the
this.
hip.
You
I said
please stop
over under
You
1.5.
got to stop
Yes.
backtracking. You got to stop backtracking on the comments because you did not say the words "I'm not sure." You said Connor McDavid's not scoring 50 goals. He's not getting anywhere over 100 points, and he'll never win another
not
Hart
true.
Trophy. That's what.
That's
you
not
Dude,
that.
that's
That
what
is
you
inaccurate.
said.
Point a game.
No. I said
He's a point a game player now.
I said he will never have a career year statistically. I'm still going to stand by that. I know what he's done for the last 30 days. He's not putting up 3 points a night for the next 40 games. But I said I don't think he's going to score 64 plus. That's a career high, and I didn't think he'd ever score 150 points again. I still don't. Maybe if he does, I will be the first one to say I'm dead wrong. You crushed it. You crushed me, and I look like a buffoon. I did not shoot from the hip, though. I was looking at history. Crosby, Ovechkin, Gretzky, Lemieux. Usually they peak years 5, 6, 7. That's when you have your big years. He's in year 10. And I also was making the comments before he signed the contract, and I was like, I don't know if that's hanging over him in the Olympic year. Listen, the way the guy's playing right now, what do you want me to say? Guy's the best player in the world. He's crushing it. He looks amazing. If this keeps up, he'll probably win the Hart, and he's going to win the Art Ross. And if he crushes his own records, then I'm in trouble. I'm going to get hammered for those
start
takes.
talking only about Celebrini.
But that's why I'm pushing Celebrini.
Push all in.
I'm
all your
pushing
chips in on
Celebrini.
Celebrini.
I'm going to start investing in this. I need billboards all over every major market in North America. Celebrini for the Hart. I need McKinnon to keep rolling. And it's like I'm rooting against McDavid, but I didn't see this coming to this extent. I got to be honest. And the guy's just crushing it. There's no denying
I'll
it.
tell
And
you
look at
what,
Edmonton again. They're sitting there chasing the top seed in the division again.
Yeah, and Celebrini, as much as Hayes, you and I both love what he's doing, and he should get the recognition and should be up for that award, but it'll be tough to stop that McKinnon train with the record the Avs have. It's like, and McJesus, like if he keeps doing what they're like, you've never had a tougher chore than taking those two guys off the podium if he actually wants to pull this off. He literally cannot take his foot off the gas for 1 week coming down the stretch. Like
No,
not
you're
1
right.
week.
Well, it's an interesting question. Like Doogie and I were throwing this around, and we won't have the answer until the Olympics are over. But is there a chance the McDavid-McKinnon duo turns into the great? Like, could it pass Gretzky, Lemieux in 87? Like, is it possible to do that? Remember Sid and Taves in 2014, like where they were in their careers, and you're like, how are you going to beat these two guys? Is it possible in 2 months we're sitting there saying we just witnessed two guys in their primes connect and be the best duo we've ever seen in Canadian history? Like, is that, what's your mini cherries on that?
Well, I think it's low because I think how many opportunities have they missed in international competition to be together doing it? Like, is it 2 Olympics now that they've missed?
Yeah, they would have been there in 2020 or 2018 and 2022 for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
they missed two.
like, it's
They missed
just
two.
they've missed 2 opportunities to have those moments, those, if they were on the same line connecting for those magical moments. They just haven't been there yet. Can they make up for it? I'm not sure, but it would have to be some magic, both big picture winning and then some individual moments either together or individually. That would be pretty special. But
Well, think
think of the idea of throwing McKinnon over the boards and then McDavid. It's disgusting.
It's
I
gross,
don't really
man.
care what else. Yeah, it's gross. I don't care what
Makar on
else
the
is out
back
there
end.
in the world.
Yep.
Yeah, Makar on the back end who wants to play 28 minutes a night. I really don't care who's out there in the world, including the U.S. When you're throwing
No one
that
can
kind of
top
talent
it.
out there, dude, it's tough to it's tough to even come close to that, man.
Yeah.
But
No,
that
they
one
can't.
moment, guys, when Gretzky passes to Mario instead of Larry Murphy,
Yeah.
like that's a special moment. Was that 87?
87.
Like that's one of the greatest moments for me that I remember watching. Like
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that moment. And Gretzky jumps into his arms. Like Larry Murphy's
Yeah,
like
like
he's
that's
just
just-
throwing his stick in the crowd.
Decoy. Thanks for coming out, Larry.
I'm not getting that puck.
Dude,
but
there's no
that's a
bigger
great moment.
decoy. As much as I love Larry Murphy as a player, there's no bigger decoy than going on a 3-on-1 with Gretz and Mario. You're just not getting it, man. You're not getting it.
No chance.
No, there's no chance. Just go for a change. Yeah, it might as well be a 2-on-1. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they have that moment. They have the aura. You know, like Gretzky was established. He had won cups by then. Lemieux was young. But, you know, even if you look at Sid and Taves, it's different now because of where Taves is in his career. But in 14, man, those two were at the top of their game. Like Sid had a cup ring. Taves had 2 by then.
But that was the point that you've got to bring up with Mac and Celebrini that you made to me. You want to take it with the Olympics and the
Which
Hart?
I'm glad you brought that up because
I'm just like teeing you up today.
You're my hype man.
Yeah.
You're my hype man. Celebrini can launch himself even further into Hart Trophy contention with a huge impact at the Olympic Games. Like a huge
Yes,
impact.
I
And I know
totally
that's
agree with that comment.
right.
If he
Go
fades away, Brian, and it just looks like a young kid in the Olympics, everyone's going to be, it's going to plant a seed where it's like, nah, maybe he's not ready for that yet. But if he steps in there and he's a primary player for them and a solid contributor and a big reason why they win, that'll just go the extra mile for him as far as people's perception coming down the stretch.
Big time. Big time. Huge platform for him because you know what's coming with McDavid and McKinnon. They're playing a ton. And, you know, whether they get the job done or not is yet to be determined. But they are going to get the opportunity to do that.
If he scores a goal to beat the U.S. in the gold game,
golden goal by Celebrini, just hand him the Hart.
Right.
Hand him the gold medal and the Hart. Right? Just a 2-for-1 package. I love it. All right, buddy. Well, get back in the gym. Let us know what's going on. We're looking for updates.
We will chat in the new year. I'll speak to you at
4 p.m.
We'll chat then.
Yes, there he is, the O-Dog Jeff O'Neill, live from Minnesota. It's actually Central Time Zone. So for him, it'd be 3 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
But we're going to catch up with the O-Dog into the new year. And we didn't even bring up the football picks because we are plus 20.
Yeah, that was tough.
You realize that we are plus 20?
I was thinking those guys should just go full Costanza and just whatever they think they should do, just do the opposite.
It's crazy because Luke knows football better than anyone I've ever met in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he has been on some heaters the last few years on this show where he has been picking, and you look at just the way he sees the board, and he is ice cold right now. And conversely, Al's brother, myself, and the O-Dog, we are 20/20 vision. Like, we are on fire in terms of the way we're seeing the board.
Like, what's
I
going
think
on?
so.
Like, I feel it.
That's what happens. That's
Talking
what
himself
happens,
in and out of picks.
Struddy, I've been there. Anyone that gambles, anyone that play, you know, specifically football spreads, you get into a place where you start overthinking.
He's got the yips.
He's got the yips.
Yeah.
He's got the yips. And you
Chuck
start,
Knobloch.
you're like, well, this can't be
Short
true.
arms.
And then, no, it's got to be that. And wait a minute, this team's got to win. And you lose sight of everything. And that's where they're at right now. But we're into Week 18. Week 18 in the NFL. I can't believe it's already that deep into the season. We're going to be in the playoffs before you know it. We're off to the Super Bowl before you know it. Confirm and deny coming up. Best bets coming up. Brought to you by FanDuel. We'll get to that a little bit later in the hour. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2.
High Potential returns Tuesday, January 6th on CTV.
Bears backhand towards the goal. Loose puck. Everybody scores! Can you believe it?
The 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship from Minnesota continues tomorrow on TSN 1050 as Canada takes on Finland to ring in the new year. Watch it on TSN and TSN Plus. Hear it on TSN 1050 starting at 8 p.m.
Canada has the lead.
The World Juniors live here. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
I can neither confirm or deny that this is in fact a segment.
Boston trades Andrew Raycroft to Toronto in exchange for the rights to Tuukka Rask.
It's been my honor and a privilege to serve as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club.
It's time for Confirm or Deny.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
Well, I can neither confirm or deny that.
I can't confirm or deny.
All right, confirm or deny. Very simple stuff. Statements are made. We go around the table. We either confirm them or we deny them. Right? Very easy stuff. Very easy. You guys ready? All
Good to go.
Here we go. Confirm or deny. Matthew Schaefer should be on Team Canada.
Red?
I'll deny it. I think his youth and just relative lack of experience makes a difference. And I don't think he will be, although I think he'll star on that team for years to come.
Yeah. I'm going to confirm that he should be. I don't think that he will be. I think they'll lean towards veteran presence. I think they'll lean towards more of a predictable 7th and 8th defenseman. I would like to see them look at it the opposite way. Like, break glass if need be and unleash this guy, right? Because he's a game breaker, Strud, right? Like, Sanheim is not. I know what he is. Sanheim's predictable, and he's a big body, and he's going to make plays and get out of the way. This team is going to be built on speed, transition. Like, the idea of Schaefer, McCarr, McDavid, McKinnon as options for John Cooper is crazy. Penalties as an 18-year-old.
I'm confirming it.
Attaboy.
And I think a dark horse, you want to talk MVP? Like, he's not MVP.
MVP.
Obviously, but, like, they're kind of the same thing we're talking about with Celebrini to, like, a lesser extent, where we didn't think the team was going to be that good.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs.
This guy's playing 24 minutes a game. He's 18.
We didn't get into the Barzell on Marchment thing.
Yeah.
How did he only get a fine for that tomahawk chop to Mason Marchment? Like, how do you explain that if you're the league, Strut?
Well, first off, are you guys trying to one-up each other here with your hot takes going into 2026?
We got 24 hours, buddy. We got no time left.
That Hayes wasn't a hot take. That was just a good take.
Very reasonable room temperature, great take.
I don't want to say
Schaefer for the heart is spicy.
I'm not saying that, but, like, he's like, in terms of what you guys are saying with value, look how valuable it is.
Now we're getting crazy, Strud.
Yeah. Jonas, I love a lot of what you say. That one, I just step back.
I'm not saying
I just slip back into the trees.
Maybe like one. 12.
The booze is kicking in, man. We're getting crazy. We're having a great time.
What happened at yoga today, buddy? Oh my God!
Just feeling the flow.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that when you're laying on the mat, something must have creeped in your head because that is fairly bold.
Yeah.
But what I think Schaefer's done, he's breathed life and excitement into that franchise.
Yeah.
They haven't had it for a long time. As far as the Barzell slash, I don't think he actually even did anything that bad. Like, he just barely got the guy on the ankle.
It's a tomahawk chop.
Yeah, but look where he gets him. Watch this fade. Like,
okay, but attempted murder is still worth something, isn't it? It may not be life in prison.
Well, it's not murder. Like, he just barely. Watch this. He barely gets.
Stride.
Like, he kind of gets the front of his right foot. Like, come down hard. If I'm going to slash a guy, I want to get him right in the calf in the back when he can't even see it coming. We're really. He won't be able to walk for a week.
Oh.
Look at that. Barely. I think he got some skate blade there, actually.
It's Bobby Clark-like in 72 on the Russians.
It's not even close.
It's in the range of it.
That was on the side of the ankle. Barzell, I think he got his tuck.
He got
his blade tuck.
He did get his blade. I didn't think what Marchment did on Schaefer was that bad. Personally, like, they were acting as if he decapitated the kid. Like, he got in his way.
Young guy.
Yeah, you're a young guy. You got to pay a price.
The
Absolutely,
MVP, you got to protect him.
Got to protect him.
Yeah,
100%.
Do you guys ever think a defenseman is ever going to win the MVP again? Ever? Like, if McCarr isn't winning it, like, is it never ever happening?
Okay, I'm going to come over the top. There's a player now that can do it. Matthew Schaefer. One day he'll do it.
Yes.
Write that down.
May not be this year, although it could be. But one day he will. It absolutely should be possible. But it's been driven by mostly just centers, the occasional winger. But yeah, who's the most dynamic offensive player in the league? Usually wins the Hart.
I think the Carr had 30 goals last year. He plays half the game. They're amazing.
Yeah.
I think he finished in the top 5, but
I agree. All right, confirm or deny. Speaking of the MVP, Drake May won the MVP in the NFL last night with the poor performance from Matthew Stafford. Drake May's the MVP. Confirm or deny?
I'll confirm it.
Okay.
I think that, especially because it's just that idea of the last couple performances you have. And then I'm not sure, is Stafford even playing next week? Is he? Maybe
I don't know because they're not playing for anything. I think a lot of guys are going to sit in Week 18. Now, Drake May, can they?
Oh, he is playing. Okay. So it sounds like Snoop
Stafford's going to play? Okay, Stafford will play.
So then I don't know, but it's like that last thing you kind of remember. That might just sway just enough of the vote. So I'm confirming for that reason. Jonas.
Okay.
I want to see who's.
I'm going to deny it. Like I think he's in the driver's seat, but I still think Stafford can win this award. Like Stafford's numbers have been phenomenal all year. May's been great.
I'm just looking up at who else is in the running.
It's the two
who's
of them.
Third?
It's not Allen anymore.
It's Trevor Lawrence. It's
it's been a really quiet, great season for
it's 100% confirmed.
You think it's Drake May 100%? Yeah. I don't think Stafford's out of it just because of last night. He still put up great numbers this year. They're going to the playoffs.
But they don't have anything to play for.
No, right? I know, but what is Drake May playing for? They've won the division. Can they get the top seed? I don't think they can. I think Denver's the top seed. So I don't think May's playing for anything in particular. Like May's stats have been really good, and he's a young guy. He's the Macklin Celebrini of the NFL.
Yeah.
They haven't been a very good team. Year 2, as a starter, he looks great, but Stafford's been really, really good. I would think that May will likely win it. I just don't think it's a lock that he definitely did last night. I still think there's going to be some debate on that, and maybe we'll see what happens Week 18. All right, confirm or deny, Major League Baseball needs a free agent frenzy type day to spice up their offseason signings.
100% confirm. Like Kyle Tucker still hasn't signed.
Let me name the guys who still haven't signed.
Everybody hasn't signed, basically.
Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, Cody Bellinger, Valdez, Bichette, Suarez, both Suarez. Gallen still hasn't. JT Realmuto hasn't signed. Like, there's a ton of big-name free agents out there, and I have no idea when they're going to sign.
Yeah.
And this is baseball. It happens all the time, and specifically with offensive players. But a lot of things have changed in baseball where they've realized the importance of, one big day, the trade deadline being the most significant example of that, where they realize we've got to have a drop-dead date here. I don't know.
You just can't do it.
Why can't you?
Because what are you going to say to teams? You have to sign players on.
Well, December 1st is this. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You're right. I mean, ultimately, it's a negotiation, and that's why it takes so long. Then why do other leagues do it so quickly?
No, it's a good question.
Yeah.
How do you, Strud, where do you stand on this?
Well, I'm going to confirm it. I think my idea of putting a date down, it maybe builds the excitement and the hype so that franchises are like, we've got to get this done. We got to sign.
But how would you do that? Would you just, what if you don't sign Kyle Tucker? What if Kyle Tucker just doesn't sign anywhere on December 1st?
Well, and there are examples of in the NHL and NBA where they wait. In the NFL, they wait, But this is, more extensive than I can recall in the past in baseball, where it's last-minute signings from really good players. There was always some delay, but, I'll bet you a couple of these guys, and Bo Bichette might be one of them, is going to sign on, March 10th or something.
Yeah.
Spring training will almost be open, or it will be open, and then he's still out there on the market. I don't think that's good for your league.
No.
Maybe what they need is the reverse of a free agent frenzy, where there's a last day, which, it's you got to force people before spring training. Yeah, and I know that's easier said than done, and it's probably pie-in-the-sky stuff, but I know it's unique, I know it's different, and I know it keeps you on your toes because guys could sign at any time, which is pretty captivating, but I don't think it's great that we're this deep into the season and you've got a guy like Kyle Tucker, who we've been talking about for months. By all accounts, is nowhere closer to signing than he was 2 months ago.
Well, is there a pressure point? Is there a?
I guess spring training
is okay. So spring. So and what are we 2.5 months away from that? Or
yeah, yeah. I mean, end of February, pitchers and catchers are going to report. So 2 months away.
Yeah. So the pressure, I've never really thought about it. I just watch people sign. I've never really thought about their process, right, and their free agency. And it does seem a little bit kind of unexciting.
Yeah.
In many ways.
I guess a part of me is just,
You just
I want
know
them
where
to
he's
sign.
going.
Yeah, I want to see if Tucker's coming to Toronto.
Yeah. Well, what happens with Bichette?
And the same thing. Yeah.
Who would you rather have, Bichette or Tucker?
Tucker.
I would go with Kyle Tucker, but I do
But the
think
contract's
going to
be so much bigger.
Yeah, and it's
But what do we
the great
care?
unknown. How does he fit in? Bichette is a guy, they talked about that clubhouse a lot, which I think is dangerous to get too heavy into that belief.
Yes.
But, Bichette's he's a big bat. He's a guy that everyone knows and loves. Like, there's a lot of familiarity there. It would be, it'd be tough to watch Bichette leave. But I think if the consolation is you're signing Kyle Tucker, people are going to get over it pretty quickly. Right, left-handed
I think
bat.
the celebration, the marker would be bigger for Tucker, don't you think? Like, as much as people love
it's the bigger
Bichette,
prize.
it would be like, oh, now they're
Right.
really serious.
I missed on Soto, missed on Ohtani, but we got this year's big prize.
Yes.
Which is what he ultimately is. So, yeah, I would agree with that. All right, let's move past the Jokic one. We kind of talked about that earlier. Let me get to this one, Joe. Confirm or deny, the Buffalo Sabres will make the playoffs.
When was the last time they made it? 2011?
14 years ago.
Wow.
Longest run, I believe, in North American sports without making the playoffs. Maybe the
Aren't
Jets.
the Jets, I think, are the same.
The New York Jets are right there with.
Maybe they're 14.
The Jets and the Sabres are equally inept. Jets are much worse. Like, the Jets are a joke. Sabres have been a disaster, but at least they've won 9 in a row. Will they make the playoffs? Confirm or deny?
Stride, I'm denying it. Like, they're 9 in a row, and they're still out of it, right?
Yeah, but they've battled them. They're back in the race.
15 in a row? I don't know.
Is it impossible to see that happening?
Yes.
15 in a row is impossible.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You sold me.
I like what Bruce said. Bruce said that, there's some often, the opposite streak coming after, right? And then I always found that if you're on a heater, your last few games that you probably should lose, you win. And you can start seeing it coming. So I think they're going to be on the outside looking in because of some of the teams in the wild card spots right now. I believe in those teams more than them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm unfortunately going to deny as well. I want to see them get in. I think it'd be a cool story. That fan base certainly deserves it. But
sure.
Everything's breaking their way right now. Do they have the goaltending to hold on throughout the course of the year? Do they have...
Who do you guys think is the best team in the East? Like, the favorite to... Like, if you had to pick a team to make the finals in the East, are you just picking Florida again?
I might pick Florida. Yeah. I'd pick them or Tampa right now.
Yeah.
Not Carolina? No love for Carolina?
I don't trust Carolina in the playoffs, Strut. I don't like the goaltending's weird down there, man. They like who are you going to use? Who are you keeping? Who's going to be your guy? That's what scares me.
But they play hard.
They win every game. They win every year. They're going to win that division more than likely. I hear you.
They fooled me a lot.
Yeah.
Many times, like San Jose a few years ago.
That's kind of what they represent. Like, they're in the playoffs every year. They're going to win around and do it decisively.
They did make the Eastern Conference final.
They've done that a couple times.
Yeah. The year before.
They've done that.
Does Ehlers make a difference? Does he make that much of a difference for them?
I like Ehlers, man. He's a pretty he gets his nose stuck in.
Fast.
But I don't think he's had the best playoff track record either.
Well, Winnipeg, is that more Hellebuck? Yeah. Is that Ehlers?
No, like statistically.
He set up Perfetti. Remember that winner against St. Louis?
Yeah.
Or the tying goal that sent it to overtime? Was him. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a legit question, though. Like, in the West, it's going to be Colorado. I think it's Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Edmonton. Like, that would be my 1 through 4. In the East, though, it's any combination of Carolina, Tampa, Florida. Who's your 4th favorite?
Well, and that's why.
Is it Detroit? I mean, Detroit, I don't know.
That's why you get back around to what we talked about before. Why, like, if you can find a way to make this season get on the right track, like.
You're the Leafs?
It doesn't seem likely at all now.
Feels like you got to win tonight. Got to beat a team like Jersey. Like, you look at the Leafs schedule coming up here. Again, it's going to be tough. You got Jersey tonight, Winnipeg on Thursday, against the Islanders on Saturday, against the MVP. Florida, who they've played well in the regular season against.
Yeah, but they're on a heater.
They're on a heater, but still, you got them at home next week. At Philly, at home to Vancouver. Like, the next 5-6 games, you got to win 4 or 5 of them. You have to, because then it's go time. Then it's at Colorado, at Utah, at Vegas. Like, it's going to get tough, So they gotta rack up some points here, and they've done a decent job the last few games. They got to keep it going. All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel coming up. We'll tee up the Leafs and Devils one more time. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
Tavares backhand towards the goal. Loose puck. Everybody scores! Can you believe it?
The 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship from Minnesota continues tomorrow on TSN 1050 as Canada takes on Finland to ring in the new year. Watch it on TSN and TSN Plus. Hear it on TSN 1050 starting at 8 p.m.
Canada has the lead.
The World Juniors live here. Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Leafs are getting plus money tonight. Plus 118. This is a classic. Just when you think the Leafs can't possibly get it done,
5-1.
they'll find a way to win tonight. Joseph Woll will stand on his head. They'll get some sort of masterpiece from Max Domi tonight, who will have 3 points, and they're going to win the game. It just feels like it. It feels like a scenario where they've played a little bit better recently in the last few games. We'll see what that means. I think Matthews playing will be very important. He's a game-time decision. I guess we'll believe it when we see it. But Nylander out, Tanev out, Joshua out, Carlo out, Stolar's out. Like all these guys out, and that's the big focus. Jersey has not been playing great.
Mm-hmm.
They have not been playing great. I'm going to play the Leafs tonight at plus 118. All right? I'm on the record. Taking the Leafs tonight. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Every NHL game is available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly. Must be 19 plus. Physically located in Ontario. All right. What else we got tonight? Well, the Oilers won last night. I'm trying to look at who else we got going this evening. We've got the Habs in Florida this evening. That's a pretty big game because Florida is cooking, and the Habs have found a way to keep their head above water. And I don't know if Fowler's playing or not, but, man, he's been a good story, and what they do with Montembeault and how they handle all that. But it'll be interesting to see how the Leafs go tonight without these guys, without Tanev, without Joshua, without Matthews, without Nylander. Put yourself in that room, Strud. Like, if you're a guy stepping in and getting a chance to play tonight, what are you thinking?
Well, you're excited. You're going to get more minutes. So you take out Nylander and Matthews. What is that, 45 minutes up front? At least somewhere in there, I'm guessing. So no, two guys aren't going to get all those minutes, but that's going to get sprinkled around. So a guy that maybe gets 12 is now getting 15. The guy that gets 10 is getting 13. Like, it is exciting. Mm-hmm. And you don't wish for your teammates to be injured, especially long term, like Bruce Boudreau said earlier. But you want to play. I mean, everyone wants to play. Even your Megs League Division 18, you're not there to play 3 shifts. You want to be out there wheeling and dealing. So I think there'll be some excitement in that room. They know if Matthews doesn't play, especially, there's quite a bit of talent sitting on the sidelines. But, maybe for a couple games, that excitement can trump the talent that's sitting on the chairs on the side.
Do you know who I would like to see them play more is Cowan? Like, I just don't. He played like 9-something the other game. It's like, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Well, and like Robertson's a part of that too, where he scored the other night and then he barely played the rest of the way.
Yeah. There's just.
And like, that's just the Berube way. Like, I'm not surprised with Cowan because I think there's a protection element to it. Like, they don't want to just unleash him and just say you're playing regardless. They're gonna be harder on him. He's gonna coach him up more. I'm not surprised by that, but like, you look at a game like tonight, yeah, he probably should play. Kind of has to play.
Why isn't he playing like higher? Like,
yeah,
I think he's on their third line tonight, but
he's been good. Like, he's been pretty good.
Clearly one of their better 10 forwards.
Yeah. And Robertson, again, can score, man. Like, he doesn't do himself favors because he makes mistakes and he turns pucks over at bad spots.
And that's probably why.
That's why he drives Berube nuts. But if Matthews is out, Nylander's out, you need a game breaker tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, John Tavares
cooled off.
Is cooled off. He still works hard. Yeah. He made a beautiful play to Robertson the other night. That was classic Tavares. He just worked. That's all it was. He just worked his way into winning a puck battle, put it on a T form, and Robertson scored. Nyes has contributed on the power play recently, but he's cooled off a lot 5-on-5.
Yep.
Hasn't played a ton of minutes like he was earlier in the year as well. But those are the guys you look at tonight, right? Someone's got to step up. And we'll see how it plays out. All right, Stred, great seeing you, man, as always.
Likewise, boys. Have a great New Year.
Yeah,
see you guys
have a happy
New
New Year. We'll catch you in 2026. Jonas, great seeing you as always.
Thanks,
as well.
fellas.
Enjoy the game tonight. Happy New Year. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and, of course, up on YouTube Live on TSN's YouTube channel. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll chat then.